be bopping in and out.
All right. I'm recording.
Okay, everybody. Welcome to the, I think, one of the, maybe the 5th semi-annual DUNE computing tutorial. This one's going to be completely online, and that sometimes works better. So this tutorial is going to be brought to you by a rather large team who I'll be introducing more later, and it's brought to you by a team of people from several universities and Fermilab, and with thanks to Claire David, who set up the whole structure last year. Okay, now I have to figure out how to change slides. Okay, so most of you should have done the mission setup. And part of the mission setup was actually to nominate the animals that are going to appear throughout the talks, although we did this so late that we in fact probably aren't going to get too many. What?
Nothing.
Okay. Anyways, this the squirrel and a puppy got 2 votes, and just to remind you what winter in Illinois is like on the day when it's like 85 there, I am showing you a picture of a squirrel in the squirrel-proof feeder that my father gave to me about 15 years ago when I was still living in Illinois. So there it is, squirrels. I might add that we forgot to rename the file, so I got access to all the files from everybody who's ever done this tutorial. And in fact, I had to do some fancy coding. So this is how you pull out the last line of a bunch of files so that you can figure out what people voted for. Okay, so how this training is organized. One of the goals is to have something you can go back to later, but the main things is there's a GitHub page which stays around, and there's the Indico page. There's a so if you go here, computing training basics indico.html, that's linked from the Indico page. That's where the actual training materials are, and those will still be around. And then there's live documents that go with each individual section. So if you look at the Indico, let's make certain I can do this. Yes, if you look at the Indico over here, there's these little links. There are live docs that go with those guys. And Kirby is going to, I do not want to exit full screen. I just want to keep going. Kirby is going to explain the live doc to you when he gets started. Okay. And what the live docs do is they allow you to ask questions. And as you're asking your questions, there's normally going to be some other experts or other people in the room, including people who are taking the class, can try to help you with an answer. And these can be anonymous because of the way Google Docs works, if you want that. And there are no stupid questions. There is stupid software, though. And sorry to the people who wrote the software. Okay, so here's our organizers for this year. That's myself. I'm at Oregon State and at Fermilab. There's Dave Demuth, who's at Valley City State University. You're going to be hearing from Mike Kirby, who's actually at CERN, Steve Tim, Tom Junk, and Ken Herner. And we also have some mentors joining us, aka people that I leaned on until they said yes. Jake and Amit. Okay, so here's our schedule. The first day, we're going to go over the basics. In particular, by the way, everybody should be trying to log into whatever computer they're going to be using. We're going to get pretty fast and furious here. So if you please try to log in so you can do examples. Okay, so we're going to do DUNE basics. Then we get a break. And then some introduction to the Larsoft framework, which is the framework that's used for the FAR detector and for ProtoDune. For anybody who's working on ProtoDune, this is a must. We aren't going to really go into the frameworks that are being used for the near detector because there's too many of them, but everybody should be familiar with Larsoft. And I wish this would stop doing this. Okay. But then you get time for lunch if you're at Fermilab, and then we're going to go into how you do grid submissions and deal with common errors. And then we're going to actually have some time for people to play around, try work with their code, and have people help them do what they've just learned with their code. And then finally, we close at a time which is god awful, even for people at CERN and definitely for people in India. Okay, the next day, we're going to continue the code makeover and then show you how to modify a module, do more code playing around, and then doing expert in the room. So it's a lot of practice on how to do things. Tom, would you clarify what the code makeover in the morning tomorrow is? Or is that just showing people how better ways to do things?
Yeah, that's the efficiency tune-up, and the second one is about I think it's POMs.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
I pulled this off.
2 Ken sessions with a lunch in between. So POMs first,
Yeah.
and then it's a submission.
Yeah, the users, the lectures will give you more details on this, but there's going to be fun things like how to do debuggers and how to make your code run right. Okay, so with not too much further ado, this is time to start the training, and I am going to actually just show you that after these slides, if you want to go, there's the presentations, but there's a bios for all of the lectures after this. I'm not going to go through them. We're going to get started instead. But if you want to know who's talking to you, this talk is online, both as a website and as a PDF file, and you can look there. And yeah, we grow these here in Oregon.
I could
Okay,
add.
I am going to stop sharing.
Yeah, I could just quickly add that all these are being recorded, so and then they'll be pasted back into the GitHub site so that you could work on these throughout the week and longer. So.
Okay, I think Kirby, you're up next.
Okay.